What's going on, everybody?
Yo, what's going on?
Hey,
It's your
we
boy.
back.
We back, man. It's your boy Troy.
It's your boy Sean.
Hey, we tapped in
We
again.
tapped in, man. So what's been going on?
Hey, man, lovely week so far, man. It's flying by. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Oh, before we get into it, like, comment, share, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you finding this at. Hey, just like it, share, comment, be a part of the conversation. We appreciate you. Appreciate you guys. This is episode 40.
All
You
right.
know,
Come
we're
on,
40,
man. Big up to the
40 deep
40.
right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we big grown now.
Oh,
You know,
yeah. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. We appreciate everybody that's rocking with us, man. Tapping in, you know what I mean? Comment. Hey, man, we appreciate it. So, man, what's good of this week, man?
I
You
don't
know
know.
good?
I just know my. I mean, been an interesting week. Start to an interesting week, but I mean, it's been progressing pretty nicely.
I
You
got
know,
a question for you, man.
uh,
When you walked up, man, I tried to give you a dap, man. You switched it to a pound.
yeah.
What's up with
I,
that?
I can't be shaking my boy's hands unsolicited anymore,
Yeah, you shake your hands no
man.
more?
Nah, man.
Why not,
I'm
man?
going back to COVID on
You say you going back to daps?
man. That's it.
Why,
It
man?
might even be elbows, man.
Man, gotta be more to it,
There's a lot more to it, man.
man.
You ain't seen the videos going around, man. Look, man. I don't know if y'all seen it or not, but it's a video floating around. Man, great basketball player, man. But man, he going through it right now. Dante Jones, man.
Man,
Hey, man.
what's wrong with him, man?
I don't know, man.
Man, that was AI, man. That had to be AI, man.
Man, I don't know what it is, but I don't like what was he thinking? Like what was he thinking for the particular action?
Yeah.
Right? What I mean? I was like, I'm looking at the video, I'm like, oh, I mean, they take it out.
Hold on, man. For those of y'all who don't know what we're talking about, I'm gonna break it down for you, man. So the Joker's in the hallway. I guess he didn't realize his camera's there. I don't know if he had a little itch that needed to be scratched, but man, he reached around there, and man,
Man,
not
that's
only
so strange on there, man.
not only did he scratch it,
Scratch
he
his head.
sniffed it, and then rubbed it on the wall. Man, that's a 3-year-old activity, you know.
Man, the dude on the one podcast was talking about it, man. Said whoever the next person that pushed that button, it was Cook, man.
Ah,
Cook, man,
man.
got pink eye, man. Laid up sick, don't even know why. But that's not even the. That's not even the like when you unpack all of it, man. Again, this is all in jokes and stuff. I don't, I mean, I don't personally know him, but I mean, it's out there. It's content,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
What I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So we
yeah.
just commented on it, but like for real, when you come home, imagine you was still working in the office, right?
Uh huh.
And somebody clipped you up like that, and it's floating around on the internet, and you walk into the house, and your kids looking at you, your wife look. Yeah, I mean, you think about it.
Man, listen,
Wait a second.
they know you nasty already, man. They got
Not
you.
that nasty, bro. That's the nasty that you hide, man. Ain't nobody supposed to see that type of nasty.
Yo, I can't even stop laughing on that one because that is terrible, man.
Yeah, that's the closet nasty, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man. Yeah, I mean that wasn't supposed to be on Front Street like
So okay, I'm thinking if you his publicist though,
how you
how
spell
do,
it?
how do you spend
Yeah,
that? You spend it.
I don't know how you spend that.
You can't even spend that, man. You just gotta take that one on the
Yeah,
chin,
I mean they
man.
could say, look, man, this person, what I mean, downstairs, the doorman or whatever, man, I ain't like the way he was acting, so
Yeah, maybe revenge or
yeah,
yeah, maybe some strange bug crawled. I don't know, man. But listen, God, that's a hard one to come back from, man.
it is, man. Man, that's a hard one to come back from in your house,
Yeah,
man. What I mean? You try to get your wife a kiss, she like,
yeah, yeah. That's just common,
yeah,
man.
I
I
mean,
mean,
smelling it. It's too close to your lips, man.
I don't know what the Joker was thinking, though, man. I just, yeah.
Um,
Ah, man.
prayers up for
So
John.
look, man.
Dante.
Man, I'm done with it. But from here on out, man, everybody should just assume it's a camera everywhere.
For sure.
It's a camera. If you riding down the road by yourself, man, and you want to flick a booger, listen, just know it's a camera somewhere.
Yeah.
And if you cool with it being on camera, then hey, it's a camera.
And sometimes it might even be your own camera. You might have your phone set up on the dash, man. Camera might actually be on, and you doing some suspect stuff.
Yeah.
There you go. You done told on yourself.
Told on
You'll
yourself.
be like Shay Shay.
Cool.
App open up, going live and everything.
Yeah, man. Shay Shay took it to the extent though. That just said, oops, oops, oops. Yeah, that's orchestrated.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all in good fun, man.
You know what I was gonna say. So
Go ahead, man.
nah, I can't.
Man, you got set
I
down.
can't, man. Because that's between me and you. It's
Oh,
between me and you. I
All right, we gotta leave.
I can't say.
We gotta leave that alone there,
It
man.
was last week though,
Mhm.
man. It was last week though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember when you was on the treadmill?
Hold on. Man, you got me thinking
You
now.
don't remember when I called you and I was like, man,
Oh man.
all right, man.
That was good job.
Let's move on, man.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
Yeah. So man, you sent me something earlier today, man, and it made me think. So if you're taking somebody out to, let's say you invite somebody out to lunch, right? It's a peer, you know what I mean? Somebody, your age or whatever, and they're like, no, I got it. I'm gonna pay for the tab, and they pull out a Cash App card. Like, what's your thoughts if somebody want to pay for the dinner with a Cash App card?
They paying for it?
They paying for it. Yeah,
The Cash App card went through when they handed it to you?
yeah. Cash App card went through.
I don't look and see how anybody's paying for anything. If they say they got it, they can pull out a roll of quarters or pennies. I don't care.
Right.
Me personally.
So like the comment, I guess it was coming from a young lady, and she was like, if a guy take me out to dinner and he paid with a Cash App card, it's like I'm out.
Man, come on, man. The standards is just shifted, man. Like it's unbelievable and unbearable now, man. Just to hear some of this stuff.
But I also think that's an age thing, though. I think so. You figure like Cash App nowadays is most teenagers' first entry into banking.
Right.
Right? I would say probably most teenagers now had a Cash App account before they actually had a bank account.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, like, if you don't have somebody teaching you, when you get your job, if you get a job, most of the times if you have direct deposit, you got to have a bank account, right? So if you haven't had a job, or you like, nah, I just want to get a check and I'm gonna cash it at, a pay spot, you can do that. But I think that's just as you grow in maturity level and getting older, just those form of payments aren't the standard. You know what I mean? They aren't the standard way now. Like even for me, like my wife, she gets paid, through Cash App, but we deposit it into their account.
I beg to differ though, man, because what I think is some people do a lot of mindless spending. And when I say nowadays it's this tap, this, that, and third.
Right.
So if you say, okay, I'm gonna allocate this to a Cash App card. And a lot of people shop online, places like that. So you say, if they get this card,
I'm straight.
They only gonna get X amount of dollars.
Right.
Or I allocated these funds, so when I'm out and about and I'm just tapping, hitting, boom, 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 I don't really have to think about what I'm spending because what I put here is I can So I think that could be the case too, because I know I bank 4 different banks. Right. I don't have a Cash App card, but I do have a card that I allocate for here. You run into the store, you need my card, take this, and this is the card that I don't have to watch as much.
Right.
So that Cash App card could, be used as that purpose, even with somebody that has a bank, a steady bank account and has, multiple credit cards and things. So I think it's immature for a female or male to worry about
How somebody
how
pay.
a joker is paying. If they're taking you out, then as long as they're not asking you.
Right. As long as that thing goes through.
But see,
They might be sweating. They might be sweating on the other side. You know what I mean? Like, yo, like this thing go through, but as long as that thing go through, it's straight.
I'm gonna tell you where that stemmed from though. It's because they pocket watching and try to see
What kind of
future
car?
references.
Mhm.
What can I get out of this brother? And you figure you looking at the Cash App card, you thinking like, his funds might be limited.
Right.
Now if he pull out that, you know what I mean, that black card,
Yeah.
your eyes gonna get big.
Right. Right.
So yeah, I mean, it's a method to it
Yeah,
too.
and that could be keeping a player. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, look, I'm coming up with this. You know. Yeah, I mean, you know, ain't
Yeah.
gonna be hundreds of thousands in this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is just the float. This is just the floaties.
Yeah.
You know, but like on another subject, as far as within this vein, you know, you had mentioned you like having that, you know, if you had a card that was tied to that account. The one thing that I would say is even if you're young and you making online purchases, it's always beneficial to have a credit card, right? So like that would be considered to be a debit card, right?
Mhm.
You could tap it, you can create a pin and things like that, but it's still your money that's
Mhm.
getting spent,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So whenever you making an online purchase through any kind of website, I would say you should always have a credit card that you're making that purchase with. And the reason why is because the money that you're spending, if that card gets hacked, if somebody tries to steal money
Yeah,
off of that
it's
card,
yours.
it's the bank's money.
Right.
And all you got to do is report it as fraud. They're going to take that stuff off. You're not going to be responsible for paying it. And they're going to fight the battle.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
that
mean?
makes
So,
sense.
like, out of all of this, that is the one thing I would say is as you leveling up and as you know, maturing, that's a way for you to protect your own assets.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, use
Yeah.
the bank's assets to make those purchases and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. That's good
Yeah,
stuff. Makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah. So, man, we was talking. I think it started last week, man. Was talking about having those hard conversations, man,
Uh-huh.
with your kids. You know what I mean? Just and you know, we both had to raise kids. You still raising younger kids,
Yeah, yeah.
and you know, one of the hardest conversations to have with them, man, is that sex talk.
Hmm.
You know, how intimidating is that, and how do you approach it?
So I so this is where I'm glad that my wife is in the house. You know what I mean? That we in the same house, right?
Right. Uh-huh.
Because the way a woman looks at it and the way a man looks at it is two totally different things. So
Right.
I'll start off because my oldest is a girl. Like the initial conversation as far as sex went, like even sex, periods, all that kind of stuff. My wife had the conversation,
Handoff. Yeah, we handed that one off. Right.
right? But I had it back in conversations.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like this is why I mean, from a man's perspective, you know, the guys at your age, they're young, you're attractive, they going through puberty just like you going through puberty, and they see you as a like getting to have sex with you is like they conquering something,
Right.
right? It's not even about necessarily love at that point in time. Never had, and they trying to find somebody
Right.
that's willing to allow them to do that, right?
Right.
And you have to be mindful enough to know that you just can't give that away to anybody,
Sure.
you know. And so the conversations on the back end was conversations like that for
Mhm.
me. Now, when it came to my son, um, man, I tried to. Even the first conversation was somewhat uncomfortable,
Mhm.
but I tried to be what I wanted somebody to say to me when I was that age. Like had a real conversation. Because with him, I even talked about porn.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like how it how watching porn can desensitize you.
Right.
You know what I mean? It can cause you to have issues. You know what I mean? When you do start to have
Yeah.
sex, you
Yeah.
might
Yeah.
train yourself to be a certain, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or and you know, to stay away from it. So the first couple of conversations was about abstaining for it until you're emotionally ready, and you know, what I mean, like all of those type of things.
Uh-huh.
Then there's, you know, if something happens, and there's totally like it's easy to talk to somebody about abstaining from something when they've never done it.
Right.
The tougher conversation is now that you've experienced protecting yourself
Right.
and not trusting that somebody else is going to protect
Bad.
you.
And,
So
and then the timing, man, just the timing. I mean, I can be honest, man. I was a little late. And when I say I was late, because at the age that I had to have that conversation, I wouldn't even think that it was something that was on my boy's radar
mhm.
until I walked in something. I'm like, wait a minute. We here already?
So we here.
So the way I had to approach it head on, it wasn't like, oh, it's butterflies and beat. Nah, I had to, oh, this, you know what I mean? And I had to say, okay, this is where we at now. We got to talk. And you know, I had to give it to him raw, man. And it came up a few times, you know, over the years as they got older and stuff. But I think that allowed us to be a lot more transparent throughout the years because, and like I said, it wasn't. I didn't catch him in the act or anything like that. But clear that up. But
That's a podcast.
yeah,
They go, yo, dad, yo,
no, I didn't catch him in the act. I mean, they was young. I mean, but see, they 2 years, 3 years apart. So my oldest, I think he probably was like maybe 10. The youngest one might was 8.
wow, okay,
So yeah, I thought I had a little bit more time.
right.
But you know, man, nowadays, man, and I'm sure it's probably come sooner now with the internet because the internet wasn't as prevalent. But I remember they had a little Nintendo DS, and I guess somebody taught them how to find certain things. I'm like, man, why they hiding the game? Like they tucking the game, throwing the game. I say, man, you just playing the game. So let me grab this game.
Okay.
Oh,
You seen
okay.
the game.
Yeah, I seen the game. I said, okay, so we gotta have
This
these
is what we
conversations.
playing now.
Yeah. So it's time I had a conversation. I mean, it's good. I mean, in a sense, it was good because when you got boys, you want to know where their interest level and things like that is at. But at the same time, I just didn't think it would be that soon.
And it's crazy because I don't. Same thing for me. I had that conversation earlier than what I thought I was going to have it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Similar scenario, but it's like how, you know, if I'm talking to somebody who got younger kids and as parents and right now and they got sons and daughters, you know, I don't know how early is too early.
Well, with the content, man, I mean, I've sat back and watched cartoons that had so much suggestive content in it, man. Like,
Right.
And not even really subliminal.
Right.
Because it was pretty like out there, just over the top. And I'm like, man, if this is what the kids are seeing, you gotta talk to them early, man. Yeah, early.
Yeah, but it's still, but for you, so what about with your daughter?
That too, girls too, man. You got to get early, man. Thank God, man. You know, same thing you said, man. Thank God, a wifey, man, inside at home and able to have those conversations. But it's things that you know, as I notice things, Odie, it's like you talked about last week, far as just being present and really seeing stuff,
Mhm.
and you know, you can see changes in moods and even innocent stuff. My daughter, she's always was a baller. She liked to play ball and stuff, and you start to develop. You go outside, you playing with. You got brothers. You outside, you playing. Hey, baby girl, come here. Let me. You know, you gotta go change. Put something else on.
So,
You know,
yeah,
you
yeah,
just gotta start.
right.
And they don't understand it at
Right.
that age. You know, we just playing basketball, having fun. But you know, I had to break it down. Say,
It is different, and that is the one thing is like it's like for like as a father raising girls, like your girls are dressed a certain way, you know, like around the house because they come, you know, what I mean, they trying to be comfortable and
Right.
stuff like that. But then it's just like it's at a certain age where the stuff that you're wearing in the house that look comfortable when you go to the store now is garnering some other attention.
Yeah.
That don't. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, hon, you can't wear this. You can't wear this to the store,
Right.
right? You know what I mean? you're growing up to, you know what I mean? You're growing up,
Yeah.
and it's having those, being present and having those conversations, and then if it's follow up questions, I think as a parent, you just be honest. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You don't know who's looking at
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
You know, at this point in time, you know, as you're getting older, you're developing, you're attracting not only maybe guys your age, but even older, right? And
Hmm.
so, and I know that's not what you're intending to do. And so I'm just telling you, you know what I mean, how to present yourself so that you're not attracting something that you don't want.
No, definitely, definitely. And as a father, as a parent, it's your responsibility, man. I mean, I I
Or
could
attention that you don't want.
I could have been considered overprotective, but it's my responsibility to do that because I remember being in certain, you know, churches, and my daughter, you know, she cries, she might want to move around, and my boys too, you know. Oh, let me hold it. Nah,
Right.
nah. You know what I mean? And it's,
Yeah.
and I'm not blaming it, saying, you know, putting a charge on anybody that's false, but I don't have time to figure out what
What you're
this
doing.
person intent is, what that person intent is. I have to protect mine.
Right.
And no, my child is gonna sit with me. If they're gonna sit on anybody lap,
Be
it's gonna
mine.
be my lap,
Right.
and so be it, you know.
That's what it is. And I think, I mean, that kind of weaves into, I mean, the next topic that we wanted to really talk about is, you know, what makes a leader. You know, I mean, what makes a leader in not only the community but in the home. You know, because a lot of times, like in relationships, uh, women will say that they want a leader, but then sometimes you'll hear a man say, "I am a leader," right? And and so I think leadership just shows up.
Man, you took the words out of my mouth. Leadership is it's not a self-appointed thing. Leadership Leaders just lead,
Right.
and as you lead, people start to follow. And when you walk, leaders observe leading, and that leads to more leadership roles.
Right.
And it's not something that you have to. It's almost like bearing a certain fruit. You know what I mean? You just gonna. You don't have to advertise it. You don't have to say, "Oh, I'm a leader." Leader is not being bossy. Leader is not calling the shots. Leaders is being able to make the hard decisions, being able to switch lanes, even if it's the unpopular opinion.
Right.
That's a lot come along with leadership.
Yeah. And I mean, with leadership, is a lot of times with leadership, the things that you'll see is somebody with a vision, somebody with thoughts and ideas. They showing progress. You know, they don't have to talk about it. You could have heard them talking about something, and a year later, that thing has happened, right?
Hmm.
Or that project that they was working on has come to fruition, um, and you know they've been able to convince other people in that vision. And that vision could be the vision for, you know, a community thing. That vision could be a vision. It can be a vision for your family.
Hmm.
You know what you want your family to look like, how
Hmm.
how you want to care for and maintain them, how you want to love your wife, how you want to nurture your children, what kind of environment you want them to be in. And it's like sharing that and moving towards that. That's what happens is what you just said. As you're moving, people latch on to what you're doing, and you
Hmm.
become a leader,
Yeah,
right?
and leadership 9 times out of 10 in most scenarios starts off with support and servitude, like serving.
Yeah, you're
And
following something.
yeah, you're following something, and you're doing it, and you're doing it to the best of your ability, and you're doing it with some purpose, and you end up. Most leaders, you leave the room better and the place better than what you found it because you're dropping jewels, and sometimes those jewels, man, could be common sense. But what my mom used to say is, and my wife said all the time, common sense is not common to everybody. So it's a lot of times, man, when somebody, a leader, will say something and it end up being profound to somebody, it's like they just thought it was, but hey, this, and that's what happens, man. And then also a leader, sometimes being a leader is knowing how to take the back seat and knowing how to delegate. You know what I mean? Really put the right person. Okay, I'm not the right person for this, but like you said earlier, I have a vision, and if you're the right person to help make this vision, grow, then I can sit back and let you, and then you still lead.
Yeah, you still lead. I mean, just because you don't got to be out in the front to be the leader.
Don't have
I
to
mean,
be out
you
in
have
the
to
front.
understand the strengths of the people that surround you. I mean, it's all about connecting, connecting the dots. And, there's something that you've been made to do that you're uniquely uh, gifted to do,
Hmm.
and there's other things that other people are uniquely gifted to do. And I think being part of a leader is identifying that in other people and giving them the empowerment to grow into that and to make it be whatever it's going to be. But the one thing I think that people don't talk about a lot when it comes um, to leadership is it's not always easy to lead. You know, it's easy when people are cheering and they're happy and
Hmm.
things are going the way that they want. But it's hard to lead when you have to make tough decisions and everybody's not on board. But because you know that this is the right, what I mean, like this is the right thing, or you're following after the right thing,
Hmm.
that it could be in your household where you're saying, "Hey, look, guys, I'm not sure how this economy is going right now. I know we've been eating out and we've been, going a lot of places. For the next 6 months, I think we need to tighten up and
Yeah,
save,
yeah.
right? Wife ain't gonna be happy about it. Kids ain't gonna be happy about it. You
Hmm.
mean we can't go McDonald's? No, we're not. We going grocery shopping. We cooking at home. Everybody taking a sacrifice for the next 6 months.
Hmm.
We can't do no trips until we've saved up and we've gotten through whatever I think could be coming. And if we get on that other side and everything's good, we're going
That's
back to
it.
normal. But I wouldn't be doing my job if I was leading you and saying, "Oh, everything's gonna be great. It's gonna be good," which is crazy because I literally had this conversation with not that conversation, but I had a conversation with my kids last night because I've been doing a lot of research into AI, jobs that would be highly impacted with AI, jobs that are kind of insulated from AI, and talking to them about the career choices that
Right.
they're doing.
Uh-huh.
And they like, well, Dad, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And like some of the things, I was like, I think that could be a good career path. And like, well, what if I don't like that? It's like, okay, well, if you don't like it, then that might not be the thing for you. But you need to be looking at things that will allow for you to be able to provide for yourself and your family
Uh-huh.
going forward. And it's not something that can be outsourced. That's
Right.
just me being a parent and
Right.
saying the work industry, the work environment that you're going to be going into in the next 3 to 7 years for the both
Uh-huh.
of them is going to look completely different than what it
Completely.
looks like right
Oh
now.
yeah.
The jobs that some of these kids are going to college for aren't even going to
You're
exist
gonna be obsolete before they even graduate,
before
man.
they even
Yeah,
graduate.
that's
So I'm
it.
like,
Yeah.
look, if you're in college now, you need to be taking classes on AI prompting. If it's it could be cybersecurity. Anything that revolves around artificial intelligence and how to utilize that
Yeah.
to get jobs done and creatively think and
Hmm.
problem solve, like that's where your opportunity is
Oh
going
yeah.
to be at. And then on the other side is the things that you physically have to do.
The trades, yeah.
Yeah, HVACs, barbers, plumbers, electricians.
That's it. Yeah.
Those type of jobs. You got to be
It's gonna be
here.
such a security in it
Yeah,
now. Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the one thing they was pushing you away from is one thing that people will be running towards now
Oh yeah.
because that's the only thing that's gonna be insulated,
Yeah.
from those type of things. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
so it's leadership's on different levels.
And like you just said, it's forward thinking.
Right.
It's thinking forward. A leader can see ahead of time and think ahead of time. But a leader has to be in tune to it. Had to be in tune spiritually.
Right.
I think you have to be in tune spiritually and you can't be led by emotion. You know what I mean? Being led by emotion, man, is a sign of a weak leader. And I mean, all of us are guilty of it sometimes because you make a decision out of emotion. You're like, nah. Sometimes you just need to sit back and think, say, okay, I'm not gonna respond right now. I'm gonna look at the situation. I'm gonna assess it, and maybe take some time because I think now we live in a time where everybody want an immediate answer. They want an immediate cure to something. Sometimes it's just not there. Sometimes you gotta sit back. Sometimes you gotta go into that prayer closet, man, and sit back and say, hey, before I make this decision,
Yeah, here's what I.
yeah,
It's crazy because you said that and it reminded me. And I don't remember if we be sending each other messages and stuff all the time. So I can't remember if it was a text message or an Instagram post. I don't know what it was, but it was something on those lines. Is about like making decisions about in anger. Like it's not a good thing to do. Oh, okay. This is what it is. It says laziness kills ambitions, anger kills wisdom, fear kills dreams, ego kills growth, jealousy kills peace, doubt kills confidence.
all emotional. That's it. All emotions, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's so true.
yeah. So that's the biggest thing is when you leading, take the emotions out of it, observe the landscape, and be tuned in. Be tapped in to higher.
That's it. No doubt. No doubt.
For sure. Well, being tapped in, man, don't be mean being over masculine either, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not being over masculine. Man, what's going on with that now, man? You know what I mean, if I ride up beside you and you peeling a banana, I'm looking to see how you're gonna eat it, man.
Man, it's a shame, man. Man, it's like, man, you either on one end of the spectrum, you're on the other, man. It's like it's no in between anymore.
Nah,
Like
man.
you're almost forced, man, to be overly masculine, but I think it's unnecessary.
Right.
I say it now. It's so funny. So I set up a booth one day, and I was doing some vending, and man, my wife was working. It was a bunch of young men there, and I seen one young man that I knew, so I spoke to him with a little bit of excitement too, pump my fist, hey. So another young man behind him, he he did. I guess he thought I was speaking to him, and he hit me with a hey, like a hey, not a what I mean.
Right.
But he called himself, and he, yeah. Like I'm like, bro, you cool with the hey, man? I ain't think nothing other
Right,
than, But it's like we
Man,
throw
can't
that.
be slipping, man. Can't be called slipping, man.
Man, listen, man, you can't order a mocha latte. You can't. We can't.
Man, I think that's just insecurities of some. It's like the smaller community influencing the larger community. You know what I mean? It's the people that's insecure about where they at, what they doing, and how they doing stuff. I mean, who cares how you eat a banana, man?
Man, I'm secure in mine, man. I seen this a post the other day. Joker, he's like, man, hang around people that you don't have to be, I guess, stressed around or whatnot. And him and his homeboy was sitting there watching TV. He had his burger and they had some fries, and they was both grabbing the fries. And the internet went up in flames talking about it was suspect because they was eating out the same fries.
So, disclaimer. You know how this podcast started, right?
Oh no, that's
We
about
ain't,
each other.
we ain't eating the fries no more. We can't eat the same
That's a
fries.
done deal now.
Yeah.
Man, I done shook my hair back on camera, man. Look, rewind it.
Clip it out.
Yeah, clip it on. It's crazy. You can't do nothing now,
Yeah,
man.
it's like it is crazy, man. But I think that, and again, it's kind of what's being pushed in front of you all the time. It's
Yeah.
over masculine, you know what I mean.
Mhm.
And I can't say over masculine, but masculine it's a nature,
Mhm.
right? It's not how you look, it's how you think, right? And it don't matter if you big, you got all these muscles or whatever. If you don't think that you are that man, it don't even matter.
That's it. As a man think of and his heart, so is he, right?
Yeah.
Now think about this, man. I think we talked about this before. It's two guys, man, that I followed. Both of them small in stature, voices is this is calm, don't have that heavy bass, but every word that they choose and every time they speak is so impactful. Man, make them seem like giants, man. I'm like, yo, I'll follow this guy. I'll follow him anywhere.
Right.
And when you look at him, you're like, this little fella, nah, that little fella packed a lot of power.
Right.
And see,
But he's convinced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he is locked in who and what his purpose is, and you can't convince him that he's
That's
anything
it.
other than that.
That's it. Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
He's
yeah, yeah.
tapped.
Yeah.
He's
I mean,
tapped in something.
and they used to say that the loudest one in the room is the weakest one in the room. I don't agree with that 1,000% because you got some people that talk about it and is about it,
Right.
but most that's not a measuring stick of how masculine you are. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, and then some people are so masculine. I mean, Roddy Piper. You know, that Joker wore a kilt, even though it was his cultural thing. Some people say he
Right.
wore a skirt, but man, he went hard.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
went
for sure.
hard.
No,
That's my
for
guy. I
sure.
said that 'cause I thought about the Hulk, man.
Oh yeah,
The,
RP.
oh, the Hulk.
Yeah,
Michael Jamal want Theo,
yeah.
man. Yeah, we gotta give a shout out to Theo, man. When I seen that, man, it felt like I told a friend of mine, felt like a childhood
Friend.
cousin or friend because we grew up with him.
We did, man.
You grew up with him in your household,
But so that's interesting. That's interesting, man. Because you think about it, we felt so close to him and that family because they acted like us, but they was also doing professions and lived in a house that we could aspire to be
Yeah, yeah.
and do. Like
Uh-huh.
we didn't realize it at the time, but it's a lot of people that watch the Cosby Show that went to college because that's what he talked to his kids about.
Yeah.
You know, what I mean, this is what you need to do. And he talked about the HBCUs and he's a doctor delivering babies and his
Mhm.
wife is an attorney.
But they did that while still being immersed in the culture.
Yeah,
Like,
immersed in the culture, man. And like honestly, that's the first I didn't see a real here black doctor or black an attorney until after I got out of college.
yeah.
So prior to that, the only thing and again, my first I'm not gonna say culture shock, but I guess it might have been, is when I went to UMES, which is the HBCU, and the teachers asking people in the room, and it was my first time hearing somebody say that they was there to be a doctor.
Right. He was like, wow. Like,
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah.
and there was multiple people in there. I'm pre-med. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Or what I mean,
Yeah.
it's pre-law, but I like math and sciences, and this is what I'm gonna do. And it's just like it made me think of what I was missing in my environment that I was actually growing up in.
Mhm.
But it also made me realize, like the one thing that subconsciously pushed and motivated me was this TV show. That the other thing I wanted to go to college because I wanted a college experience. Why? Because I was watching a different world.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They made it look like it was
Mhm.
fun. It was hanging out. It was doing parties.
Yeah.
But it was always a positive vibe and positive method. And I mean, I think kids, if they tune in now to the right things, as far as like on YouTube, like and on Instagram, like DeVal and his wife, they've got
Oh
a
yeah,
good
yeah,
family
yeah,
show
yeah.
with him pouring into his 4 sons. It's almost like a rebranding
Oh yeah.
of them of the Cosbys, but we definitely want them to see more positive
Oh yeah.
family units
Well, even
that they can
watching
aspire to be.
LaMelo Ball, I mean, with the Ball family,
Yeah.
watching Deion Sanders and them, and now it's becoming more of a out in front. They show it now, like, okay, this is the family structure, and that's what's being kind of glorified, and it's good. It's good to see that.
For
It's
sure.
real good to see
For
it.
sure. For sure. I mean,
Yeah.
the more examples we see out there, the better.
No doubt.
The better it is.
No doubt. Yeah. So, man, let's go on to the next segment, man. Wonderful World of Bill.
Yeah.
So, assignment contracts.
Okay.
Yeah. Educate me a little bit on those, man.
So this is interesting because a lot of people want to know what's the lowest barrier of entry for me to get into real estate. It's assignment contracts,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so basically, what an assignment contract is you find properties. Typically, they're going to be abandoned properties, vacant properties, grass growing up around it. You find out who, you know what I mean? So in most cases, that's a vacant owner. I mean, not vacant. Uh, the owner is a non-occupied unit. You know what I mean? So the owner doesn't stay there, probably a rental property, might live out of state, something like that. And so you find that you can go into the county records, find out who the owner is, get in contact with them, and you can negotiate out a price to buy, right?
Mm-hmm.
The backstory to this is before you do this, you do have to have an understanding of the market and what that house is actually worth, right? The what makes assignment contract works is when if you're not a real estate agent, you don't have to disclose what that property value is. So somebody who lives, they might own a house here in Seaford, but live in California. You contacted them and you say, hey, look, I want to get this property under contract. I'll pay you $50,000. But you know, in the condition that it's in, that an investor would pay $70,000 for it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can negotiate, get it under contract with that seller. And in the contract, you say, Troy, your last name, and or signs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that and or signs means that either you can go through with the purchase or you can assign that contract to somebody else and they would be the one that would close, that would end up purchasing the property.
Right.
Right. So once you get it under contract, now as the buyer, you're obligated to go to settlement the day that you said you was.
Right.
So now you got to find an investor that is willing to purchase it.
Right.
And so if it's me, I got it on contract with 50, I go to you and I say, hey, Troy, I got this piece of property under contract. I'll assign this contract to you for $20,000. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so in that agreement, you would agree, okay, I'll pay the $20,000 assignment fee. So what happens is when you go to closing, the purchase price of the house is on the settlement sheet is actually $50,000, right? So they're paying the seller of it $50,000. But part of that investor's closing costs is the $20,000 assignment fee that gets paid directly to me. Right. So in that instance, the seller gets 50, they walk away. I get 20, no taxes taken out, no nothing. I'll walk away. The investor gets the property, he can fix it up and flip it, and then he's gonna make his money on the back end.
Man, that's easy money. There's no skin in the game.
No skin.
There's some work. But so let me ask you this. Two things real quick. What would motivate a seller to assign a contract to a non-real estate, someone that's not a realtor, to a realtor?
So the ability to be able to close fast. So typically when that's the case, the person might be under stress. They might be just sick of the property and it's a headache. They don't want to deal with it anymore. And what you're providing to them is a quick transaction.
Okay.
Right. Okay. And it gets that headache out of their mind, off their plate. They can move on.
Okay.
So for that sense of, the words escaping me, but to be able to have the luxury of having the cash and not have to worry about this property anymore, they're willing to trade off selling it for less than market value because they know that you can go to closing on it in a short amount of time.
Okay.
The only thing that really helps with assignment contracts is if it's a cash deal and if it closes fast.
Okay.
So you don't have to, if you're assigning properties, you really, you need to know the market, but you also need to know that you got somebody on the back end that you can assign this contract to. Because the last thing you want to do is get a property under the contract. It sounds all good. And even if you know it's a good deal, if you don't have any relationships with any personal investors, then you have nobody to shop the contract around to. So what I would say is if you want to get into assignments, I would search Facebook for investment groups in your area, right? So find investment groups, find out where they meet, when they meet, start the network there first, right? network with them, see
Yeah,
what they
because you know what, you need to know what to offload or who to go talk to, right?
right.
Second question I had, so on the flip side, is there a possibility of getting caught holding that bag?
Yeah.
And then what happens with that? Because time is always of the essence.
Time,
So
yeah, time is of the essence. So typically, if you're gonna do that, it's gonna be some type of deposit, right? And so
yeah.
if you can't perform on it, then that seller can be like, well, I want to keep the deposit on the deal,
Hmm.
right? So you could be out, $5,000, I mean $50,000 deal, you might be out $2,500, $5,000, 10% or whatever it is. Because typically, if you're doing cash, you want to put a decent deposit up
Yeah.
to let them know that you got the cash to be able to buy it. But yeah, you can get caught holding the bag if you don't, if you don't do it correctly.
Right. Okay.
Because you got to be able. You're saying you be able to purchase it. You don't have any contingency on it. It's not contingent upon financing. You're just saying, hey, in 20 days I can settle on this property and I can pay you cash.
Wow.
And so you got to be able to produce on that.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. That's good stuff, man.
Yeah, for sure,
All
man.
right.
It's good question, man. I'm glad you answered because like that is really the easy. It takes some time to develop the back end network of investors that you can go to. It takes some time learning. Well, now with AI and the tools that you can get, just online about real estate, it's easier to do research on the front end, to be able to establish baselines of values, and so it's the sooner that you can get those two things, the easier for you to be able to make those deals happen. But there's no better way to be able to kind of build up some cash. I'm saying 20,000, but it's, in some cases it may only be $5,000.
Right.
But $5,000 just for having the knowledge to be able to match a buyer up with a seller.
Oh man, it's good money.
Yeah,
And less than a month.
yeah, less than a month.
Easy. Yeah.
You,
Why
you've
not?
already done all the work. Now you're just trying to, find a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
And they got a lot of apps out there now, that you can find vacant properties, you can find non-owner occupant properties, you can find out-of-state owner properties, you can find properties that are delinquent in taxes. Like those are all indicators of somebody who
right.
is not really paying attention or might be fatigued with managing or dealing with the property.
So, but they always have to be owner, for sale by owner, pretty much. It couldn't. The bank doesn't entertain that type, contract.
It's got to be from a hand-to-hand transaction. The person that you're dealing with has to own the property. The banks they want the most they can get for the money.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, so they're not willing to do that. But yeah, good question, man. I hope y'all found that helpful.
All right, man. All right. That's it, man. Ain't nothing else for tonight.
Hey, we appreciate y'all tuning in, tapping in with us. Again, as always, like, comment, share. We had a lot of good feedback last week on our very first guest. So that's something that we're going to be entertaining in the future. We got a couple other things coming up.
Oh, yeah.
A couple changes that we're pretty excited about. So we want y'all to continue to tap in with us and let's follow the journey. We're just trying to get better and better as we go along. Again, if y'all have questions, y'all want to comment on the conversations that we having, we welcome it. This is just a conversation between us.
That's it. No doubt. And thanks for tapping in, y'all. Cheers.
Peace.